I remember like I couldn't even read a basic sentence. And one funny thing is I did not even know how to tell the teacher I need to go to the toilet. So one day I quickly snuck out of the classroom just to go to the toilet. And when I came back, the teacher was so pissed off at me. Like I needed to learn how to say I need to go to the toilet.
Go to the toilet.
Yeah,
okay.
I was like, I need to go pee-pee. As a teacher, I love teaching students like more than one certain expressions.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you have your level 1, but do you guys want to learn about level 2? Do you want to have a very plain life? Right? So if you want to be different, you want to accelerate your learning, first of all, do not be afraid of mistakes.
Hello, everyone. This is Johnny, and today we have a special guest,
James. What's up, guys?
James. So I think a lot of people already know you a lot.
Do they?
Yeah.
Really?
You're very famous here. Like you're the backbone of Funday here.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. Come on, man. Well, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. Really appreciate it. So today, I think what is your forte? Can you talk about your forte? My forte. Well, I guess one of my forte is making people feel comfortable.
Okay, I think that's very important because in terms of personality, I think you're second to none.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, all these compliments. I don't know how to. I don't know how to receive them.
Oh. So back to our topic today. Today our topic is about how do students improve their spoken English? Because based on my observation, a lot of students learn English for a long time, maybe 20 or 30 years, but they still have a hard time speaking English fluently. Because I've been there. Because I was born and raised in Taiwan,
right.
And I know how people feel when they have a fear of speaking English,
right.
And how they start learning English by some so-called structured teaching, and that kind of structured teaching can sometimes deter them from speaking English because they will hamper their style by setting a lot of limits on them, so they are afraid of making mistakes. So I think that's very natural, especially for example, take you for example, you moved to Australia when you were young, right?
Right. So I moved to Melbourne, Australia. I think I was 6.5 or 7 years old at that time.
7 years old. But so at that time, I think your children are kind of thick-skinned.
Well, I wouldn't say it's thick-skinned, but I was actually literally just thrown into the deep end. Because my parents suddenly just migrated to Australia, and I have no idea what was going on.
So at that time, you couldn't speak English very well.
Yeah, I couldn't speak English at all.
You felt frustrated.
Well, frustration could be one point, but I think at that time, being a kid, you don't really care.
Yeah, so I think that's the crux of the matter. You don't feel frustrated, and you don't have a fear of making mistakes.
Yeah, well, before I actually went to a proper school, like a proper elementary or primary school, what they would say in Australia, I went to a language school. So a language school, the teacher will prep you like some of the basic vocabularies or basic spoken English.
So what is the class made of? What is the class made up of?
Well, you have all these international students.
International students.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have students from Russia, India, China. So people from everywhere, really.
You're kind of like on the same boat.
Yeah, we're all fresh off the boat, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can practice speaking with them. They can build up your confidence.
Yeah, well, not so much confidence at that time. I remember hitting walls left, right, and center all the time. Yeah, and so I remember like I couldn't even read a basic sentence. And one funny thing is I did not even know how to tell the teacher I need to go to the toilet.
Wow.
So one day I quickly snuck out of the classroom just to go to the toilet. And when I came back, the teacher was so pissed off at me. She was like, "Where did you go? Do not ever do that." I have no idea. I was like, why is she yelling at me? I need to go to the toilet. Yeah, but just little things like this that kind of like gave me a little bit of a trauma and to push me is like, well, I really need to practice my English.
When you have in that kind of situation, you will feel the importance of learning English and speaking English well.
Absolutely. At that moment, I knew I am in a new world.
So in that case, what did the teacher say? Like, when you need to go, you need to go.
Well, of course, I needed to learn how to say I need to go to the toilet.
Go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I need to go pee-pee. Yeah.
Okay, so at that time, do you still remember any tools that you use? Except for the books in the classroom. Is there anything else that you make use of?
Perhaps the morning cartoons.
The morning cartoons.
Yeah, at that time, I remember they had Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z is universal.
Okay,
right?
So we're not in the same generation. Like at my time, it was like Popeye.
Popeye. Well, I watch Popeye.
You're Popeye.
Yeah,
Okay.
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's also a classic.
You kind of like get used to speaking English and listening to English by watching cartoons.
Yeah, but like I said again, I was thrown into the deep end when I was there. So if I needed to go different places, and sometimes because my mom and my parents, only my dad could speak English well.
Okay.
Okay, so he studied his masters in England. So he spoke Pommy English.
Ooh.
Yeah, but my mother
impeccable English. That is.
Yes,
okay,
indubitably.
Okay.
Yeah. But my mom, she was also on the same boat as us. So when we go out, like my mom will like.
Did you get pushed around because of that?
No, I was being a big kid.
Oh, okay.
I've always been.
That's the advantage of being big,
right? So no, I never really got bullied, but but it wasn't really physical bullying, but perhaps like emotional bullying.
Emotional bullying.
Perhaps they will make fun of my English and things like that. But at that time I was really thick-skinned. I'm like, oh, you want trouble? You want you really want to tease me? Yeah.
Yeah, I think in that case, like kind of like discrimination, it happens all the time.
Racism, discrimination in the 90s. Oh, it's crazy. But I was actually really oblivious to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like maybe ching chong, and I'm like, what the? Oh, okay.
I think even if when you have a good command of English, they can still like do something that makes you feel irritated. For example,
making fun of my lunch.
Yeah, or maybe they ignore you.
No, they don't. I command presence. Okay. No, do not ignore me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I noticed that you used the phrase "be thrown into the deep end." I think that's a good one because that's also an idiomatic expression.
Absolutely.
And we are both teachers here, and a lot of times in my class, I also teach them a lot of idiomatic expressions because I pick up a lot of them from reading novels, watching movies, or listening to music. So I think that's very important.
Yes.
But on my observation, a lot of times, I think students here, they rarely use what I teach them.
Right.
So kind of like, yeah.
Well, perhaps because they learned what you've taught them, but they have nowhere to apply it.
Yeah.
So if they don't have the environment, or if they don't intentionally try to use something new that they've learned in their everyday life, it'll be very easy to forget about them.
Yeah, just take one thing for example. I always teach them like when you want to say every day. As we scroll through the videos on IG, you can see like maybe Kobe Bryant or anyone else's videos. They use on a daily basis. So I said, okay, next time if you want to say every day, try to replace that with on a daily basis. Yeah, because that's also one of the approaches that I adopt. When it comes to taking the IELTS speaking test. Right. Yeah. So that you can get your grade higher for that.
Yeah, so definitely you want variety.
Yeah, variety.
Right, get them to. So as a teacher, I love teaching students like more than one certain expressions.
Yeah, exactly.
You have your level 1, but do you guys want to learn about level 2? Do you want to have a very plain life?
Yeah, and I always tell them, that our life is just like this. It's almost the same every single day. Yeah. So what can you do, to make to add variety into your speaking? Yeah. Otherwise, it was just like every time I ask them, "How was your day?" Just so. And
same thing.
I stay at home, do housework. I was okay. Next time, maybe you can say, "Okay, I did some housework today, so my house is spick and span today. We're spotlessly clean." Yeah. And absolutely. They say, if I use those, will they find me very show off or something like that?
Absolutely not. They'll be so impressed by your level of English.
Exactly. I think that's also my reaction to that, because a lot of time when I speak English, when I was young, when I spoke in English, and native speakers, they say, "Oh, where did you pick up your English? You sound like a native speaker."
Exactly.
But I don't care whether it's real or not, but it's just like an encouragement.
You got to do things that normal people are not willing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in order to be really good, you got to step outside of that comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
So for example, if you do not you don't have the environment, create that environment. I mean, it's very cliche to say. It's like, I don't have anybody to speak English to. It's like, well, if you don't, then you got to speak to yourself or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes you really need to be crazy.
Yeah.
Like that. To think about, like you spoke about Kobe Bryant, right? So Kobe Bryant, what makes him so great? Because he does things that nobody else would do.
Yeah, you could say he thrived on hard work.
Exactly. So that's what makes him different compared to all these other people, right? So if you want to be different, you want to accelerate your learning, first of all, do not be afraid of mistakes, right? Especially if you're in a classroom, this is the place where you should make as much mistake as possible.
Oh, speaking of that, I think, on Funday, we also provide some, great place for them to practice speaking, to practice speaking English.
Of course, like classrooms like Chit Chat Cafe.
Chit Chat, not Internet Cafe.
Not Internet Cafe. No, that is pretty much obsolete now.
Okay, yeah. Obsolete, yeah. 过时的, outdated.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, good one, obsolete. And also, is there any other things that you can provide us with for improving their English, like spoken English? Any other online resources?
Online resources, well, definitely watching English movies, listen to English songs. I'm sure people in Funday, they've heard about this before, but really,
Do you suggest them turning on or turning off the English subtitle?
In the beginning, perhaps turn it on. Turn it on, have a look at what the words are while you're listening. That will give you at least some sort of framework to go through. And then if you feel comfortable enough, start to turn it off.
Yeah, that's also my approach. A lot of times we tend to ignore some of the idiomatic phrases that they use, and we don't know what it means. But, recently I just realized that also in our teaching, curriculum in high school, they tend to teach that to put students' ability to test about their ability to use some small words, like some idiomatic expressions.
Right.
Because a lot of students, when they speak English or write English, they tend to use some, academic words or even big words. Yeah. For example, when I teach something idiomatic, they will say, "Oh, teacher, can I replace that with blah, blah, blah?" And that one was like a classroom English, like textbook English.
Yeah.
So I was like, why bother?
Yeah, exactly.
I teach you a better one. And
that's right.
Why do we have to settle for less?
Yeah, absolutely. So, it is up to us to kind of encourage them to take the leap.
Take the leap, right?
Yeah, just trust us.
A quantum leap.
Yeah,
Take a quantum leap.
A leap of faith.
Yeah,
right.
In terms of usage of English.
Exactly. I mean, we're like us teachers. We're not here to mess around with you guys, right? Obviously, for myself, I'm pretty much a native English speaker, so the things I teach is actually really applicable to everyday life. So, trust me to use it. I'm not gonna tell you, to teach you something that means something else, right? I'm not going to tell you say this and it actually means something bad, right? But so, it really is up to the student to use what they've learned to find a way to make it every day for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if we can just put what we learn into practice, for me, because I've been learning English for a long time, and even now I still learn English on a daily basis.
Right.
I always try to talk to myself, repeat what I have just learned in English.
Right.
And people say that 教学相长, like in Chinese, there's a Chinese saying 教学相长. You teach and you learn.
Right. So as a teacher, I'm also learning every single time as well. So this is actually the first time I've been a teacher at Funday.
So are you still learning?
Well, learning wise,
how do you learn right now?
How do I learn
as
a teacher? Well, sometimes it's more about the interaction with the students.
Okay.
Yeah. So I learn about how to communicate. So it's a different type of learning. And of course, sometimes when I'm explaining some words, I will find out another word that I rarely used. or I've never used before. It's like, oh, so this is another word. So like I'm always learning new words as well.
Exactly. That makes two of us. Yeah, I also derive a lot of pleasure from learning new words and make it mine. Just by repeating and repeating time and time again.
Exactly.
Okay, very good. So thanks a lot for coming to our show. And
thank you very much for having me.
Looking forward to your coming next time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and share something with us again. All right, see you next time.
Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.